थोड़ी सी ब्लर है आपकी, आप थोड़ी सी हल्की सी ब्लर है। अब ठीक है, अब ठीक है ना? इतनी ठीक है, इतनी चलेगी। ठीक है सर, चलेगी इतनी अब।
हाँ काफी है। और
हाँ
लैब
ठीक,
एक मिनट कर रहे हैं अभी ये।
ठीक है ठीक। कुछ पता नहीं, अब कैमरे की कुछ ना होगा, कैमरे का इशू ना। बैंडविड्थ वाला सेट किया होगा, पता नहीं क्यों। वो तो आशा शैतान आदमी।
ठीक है प्रेम सागर साहब, ओके डन।
इट्स ओके, ओके।
Picture is better and sound also.
यस यस।
Okay then, all the best.
ओके, ऑल द बेस्ट।
Thank you.
सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल वंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत।
to please keep the mobile phones on silent mode. आप विकास के साथ वाली सीट में I most humbly seek the permission of Honorable Chair to commence the proceedings. Thank you, Lordship. Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abistan, Chief Justice Acting and Chairman, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Miss Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and Member, Juvenile Justice Committee, joining us virtually. Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Member, Juvenile Justice Committee. Honorable Mr. Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and Member, Juvenile Justice Committee. Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, Judge, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Judges of Honorable High Court of J&K and Ladakh, joining us virtually. Dr. Said Abid Rashid Shah, Administrative Secretary, Department of Health and Medical Education. Mr. Vijay Kumar Biduri, Divisional Commissioner, Kashmir. Ms. Angma, Commissioner Secretary, Department of Social and Tribal Welfare, UT of Ladakh, joining us virtually. Mr. Achal Sethi, Secretary, Law and Justice, UT of J&K and Ladakh. Mr. Yashpal Bodni, Director, Judicial Academy. Mr. M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Chief Justice. Mr. Jawad Ahmed, Principal, District and Sessions Judge, Srinagar. Worthy members of registry present physically and virtually. Participating judicial officers, posted at secretaries, district legal services authorities, and principal magistrates of juvenile justice boards, director health, director rural development, learned resource persons for today's event, Ms. Bharti Ali, child rights and juvenile justice expert, Ms. Renu Anuj Singh, Director, Rural Services, Action for Ability Development and Inclusion, Mr. Tasadduq Hussain Mir, Director, School Education, Kashmir, Mr. Serin Paldan, Director, School Education, UT of Ladakh, and Dr. Rauf Hussain Rathar, Community Medicine Specialist, Directorate of Health Services. Ms. Harvinder Kaur, Director, Mission Vatsala, joining us virtually. Mr. Iqbal Long, Commissioner for Persons with Disabilities, UT of J&K, other officers of Civil and Police Administration, delegates and participants from various departments, heads of collaborating non-governmental organizations, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all and warm welcome to the inaugural session of annual consultation of stakeholders on child protection in the UT of Jammu and Kashmir and UT of Ladakh with this year theme, Protection of Children with Disabilities, organized by Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh in collaboration with Department of Social Welfare, UT of Jammu and Kashmir, Department of Social and Tribal Welfare, UT of Ladakh, UNICEF and Agri Industries Vikas Chamber. To begin the proceedings of this annual session on an ideal note, may I request to all the honorable dignitaries and delegates to rise for national anthem. I request IT team to play.
तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जयगान जन गण मन जय हे बाबा जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 जय
Thank you. Honorable dignitaries and delegates, it is our tradition to commence the occasion with ceremonial lighting of the lamp, a timeless symbol of wisdom, knowledge, and enlightenment. We are privileged to our honorable chief guest and dignitaries to grace this event by igniting the lamp, signifying the dawn of new beginning and the illumination of our path ahead. This light represents our collective aspiration to shine brightly and lead with purpose. Thank you, Lordship. As a mark of respect and sincere admiration, it would be ideal to welcome our honorable dignitaries with presentation of eco-friendly plant saplings. May I first of all request Mr. Vijay Kumar Biduri, Divisional Commissioner Kashmir, to present a plant sapling to Honorable Mr. Justice Tashi Rabistan, the Chief Justice Acting, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Chairman, Juvenile Justice Committee. Thank you. May I now request to Mr. Abid Rashid Shah, Secretary to Department of Health and Medical Education, UT of J&K in Ladakh, to present a plant sapling to Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Executive Chairman, Ladakh Legal Services. Thank you. May I now request Ms. Rajni Sharma, Joint Registrar Protocol, Jammu Wing, to present a plant sapling to Ms. Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Member Juvenile Justice Committee. Thank you. Thank you. May I now request our resource person, Mr. Tasadduq Hussain Mir, Director, School Education, Kashmir, to present a plant sapling to Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Member Juvenile Justice Committee. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Shabir Hussain, Director, Rural Development Department, to present a plant sapling to Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Member Juvenile Justice Committee. Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Hilal Bhatt, in charge, UNICEF Child Protection, to present a plant sapling to Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you. Thank you, sir. To welcome our honorable dignitaries and delegates, I request Mr. Amit Kumar Gupta, Member Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, to make a formal welcome address. Mr. Amit Kumar Gupta.
Honorable Mr. Justice Tashi Rabistan, Chief Justice Acting and Chairman, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of J&K and Ladakh. Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and Member Juvenile Justice Committee, joining virtually from Jammu. Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh and Member Juvenile Justice Committee. Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh and Member Juvenile Justice Committee. Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh. Honorable other judges of Honorable High Court of J&K and Ladakh who have joined virtually. Dr. Syed Abid Rashid Shah, Administrative Secretary, Health and Medical Education. Ms. Padma Engmo, Commissioner Secretary, Social and Tribal Affairs Department, UT of Ladakh, joining virtually from Ladakh. Shri Vijay Kumar Baduri, Divisional Commissioner Kashmir. Shri Achal Sethi, Law Secretary. Shri Yashpal Barni, Director Judicial Academy. Shri M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to Honorable the Chief Justice. Shri Jawad Ahmed, Principal District and Session Judge, Srinagar. Were the members of registry present physically and virtually, participating judicial officers, learned resource persons for today's meet, Ms. Bharti Ali, Child Rights and Juvenile Justice Expert, Ms. Renu Anuj Singh, Director, Rural Services, Action for Ability Development and Inclusion, Mr. Tasadduk Hussain, Director, School Education, Kashmir, Mr. Sering Paldan, Director, School Education, UT of Ladakh, and Dr. Roof Hussain Rathar, Community Medicine Specialist, Directorate of Health Services, Ms. Harvinder Kaur, Mission Director, Mission Vatsalya, joining virtually, Shri Iqbal Lone, Commissioner Disabilities, UT of J&K, other officers of police and civil administration, heads of collaborating NGOs, delegates and participants from various departments, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you. As the Member Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, it's my proud privilege to extend on my behalf and on behalf of Juvenile Justice Committee, a warm welcome to one and all to this one-day annual stakeholders consultation on protection of children with disabilities 2024. The father of our nation, Mahatma Gandhi, said, and I quote, "The true measure of any society can be found in how it treats its most vulnerable members," unquote. The purpose of today's assemblage is to discuss as to how can we ensure that the rights and well-being of children with disabilities are upheld and promoted. Our objective today is to foster collaboration, share insights, and for future that will improve the protection and support for children with disabilities. We aim to explore comprehensive approaches that include legal reforms, educational achievements, healthcare improvements, and social awareness. Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Avastan, Honorable the Chief Justice Acting, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh and Chairperson, Juvenile Justice Committee, has been kind enough to accept our invitation and inaugurate this consultation meet, besides extending all the support to us in organizing this program. His Lordship's active involvement has materialized in the form of this program. We all are aware that the cause of children is close to His Lordship's heart, as His Lordship has personally visited all the homes and child care institutions, not only in UT of J&K, but also in UT of Ladakh. And I am sure that His Lordship's gracious presence and inauguration of this consultation meet will deliver vibrant action plan for future. On behalf of Juvenile Justice Committee, I once again extend a respectful welcome to His Lordship. We are honored with the presence of Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Akram Chaudhary, and Honorable Mr. Justice Mohammad Yusuf Wani, who despite their busy schedules have graced this occasion with their presence. We are grateful to you, Lordships. I also extend a hearty welcome to all other honorable judges of the High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh who have spared their precious and valuable time to be with us virtually today in the inaugural program. I also welcome all the commissioner secretaries, head of various departments, judicial officers, medical officers, experts, and all other stakeholders who are actively involved in the welfare and protection of children with disabilities in UT of J&K as well as Ladakh. I wholeheartedly extend a most affectionate welcome to all the delegates from different departments who are participating in today's meet so that we can have better deliberations and prepare an effective roadmap ahead for the welfare of the children in general and those with disabilities in particular. I wish all the participants a great day ahead. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. The theme of this annual consultation on child protection is the protection of children with disabilities, which seeks to delve deeper into the measures undertaken by the UT of J&K and UT of Ladakh for children with disabilities across various categories. The aim and objective of this consultation is review existing schemes, services, mechanisms established, and also to set targets through the development of an action plan based on state and national commitments to children with disabilities within the juvenile justice system. To have more on the subject, I humbly request Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, to make special address on the occasion.
Honorable Mr. Justice Tashi Rabistan, Chief Justice Acting and Chairman, Juvenile Justice Committee. Brother Justice Atul Sridharan, Sister Justice Sindhu Ji, Member, Juvenile Justice Committee, joining virtually from Jammu. Brother Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Member, Juvenile Justice Committee. Brother Justice Muhammad Yusufani. My other brother, sister judges who have joined virtually. Dr. Sayyid Abid Rashid Shah, Administrative Secretary, Health and Medical Education. Ms. Padma Amu, Commissioner Secretary, Social and Tribal Affairs Department, joining virtually. Shri Vijay Kumar Viduri, Divisional Commissioner Kashmir. Shri Achal Sethi, Law Secretary. Shri Yashpal Borni, Director, Judicial Academy. Mr. M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Chief Justice. Mr. Jawad Ahmed, Principal District Judge Srinagar. Shri Amit Gupta, Member Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee. Members of the registry present physically and virtually. Participating judicial officers. The resource persons from today's meet, Ms. Bharati Ali, Child Rights and Juvenile Justice Expert. Ms. Reenu Anuj Singh, Director, Rural Services Action for Ability Development and Inclusion. Mr. Tasuduk Mir, Director, School Education, Kashmir. Mr. Sarin Paldan, Director, School Education, UT of Ladakh. And Dr. Rauf Hussain Rathar, Community Medicine Specialist. Ms. Harvinder Kaur, Mission Director, Mission Vatsalya, joining virtually. Shri Iqbal Lohan, Commissioner on Disabilities, UT of J&K. Other officers of the police and civil administration, delegates and participants. Ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning. We gather here today for a common purpose to safeguard and enhance the lives of children with disabilities, ensuring that their rights and needs are adequately addressed. Our presence here signifies our collective commitment in addressing the unique challenge faced by the children with disabilities and ensuring their rights and well-being are upheld. This significant one-day annual consultation of stakeholders in the UTs of J&K and Ladakh on the theme Protection of Children with Disabilities 2024 provides us an important and conducive platform to discuss and develop strategies to improve the protection and care of these children, particularly in relation to the protection of the children as enshrined in various legislative enactments. The voice towards attaining an umbrella society where differently able children are treated with dignity and respect is a long and hard one. However, it's a journey that we must undertake with unwavering determination. These children are vital part of our society and they deserve the opportunities, rights and protection at par with other children. It's our collective responsibility to ensure that they are not left behind. Our legal system provides a comprehensive framework for the protection of these children. The core child protection legislations for the children are enshrined in laws like the Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015, the Prohibition of Child Marriage Act 2006, the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act 2012, the Child Labor Protection and Regulation Act 1986, and the Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. However, effectuality of these laws depends on their robust execution and the active association of all stakeholders. The Disability Act in Section 16 requires that appropriate government and the local authorities to ensure that all educational institutions funded or recognized by them provide inclusive education to the children with disabilities. Education is a critical area where we must focus our efforts. Inclusive education is not just about providing physical access to schools, but it is to create an environment where physically able children can acquire skill and gain an understanding of things around and become competent. This requires special schools equipped with necessary facilities, trained and skilled teachers, accessible learning materials, accessible buildings, transportation and other supportive facilities. We must also ensure that The curriculum is adapted to meet the diverse needs of these children. Regular training and capacity building programs for educators and school administrators are essential to achieve this goal. Another area that needs our attention is healthcare. Specially able children have a right to the enjoyment of highest attainable standards of health without discrimination on the basis of being specially able. It often requires specialized medical care and support services. Our healthcare system must be equipped to provide these services efficiently and effectively. Early detection and intervention are crucial in addressing disabilities and preventing further complications. We must also ensure that children with disabilities have access to assistive devices and rehabilitation services to enhance their strength and self-supporting. Social inclusion is a fundamental aspect of the well-being of specially able children. These children must be given opportunities to participate in social, cultural, and recreational activities. Community-based programs and support network can play a vital role in fostering a sense of belonging and self-esteem among these children. Public awareness campaigns are also necessary to change societal attitudes and encourage acceptance and inclusion. Addressing violence and abuse against specially able children is another critical issue. These children are particularly vulnerable to various forms of abuse and exploitation. Section 7 of the SAD Act states that victims of violence, abuse, or exploitation shall be rescued, protected, and rehabilitated. So, we must strengthen our child protection systems and ensure that incidents of abuse are reported and dealt with promptly. Support services, including counseling and legal aid, should be readily available to victims and their families. Children are eligible to free legal aid services irrespective of their economic or other status. Training programs for law enforcement personnel and judicial officers are essential to ensure that they are equipped to handle cases involving such children with sensitivity and understanding. Collaboration and partnership among stakeholders are key to achieving our goals. The judiciary, government agencies, civil society organizations, and the community must work together to create a holistic and integrated approach to the protection and empowerment of children with disabilities. We must share knowledge, resources, and best practices to develop effective strategies and solutions. Let me all reassert our fidelity to the protection and empowerment of specially able children. Let me make an endeavor to shape a society where every child, regardless of their abilities, is given an occasion to celebrate his special ableness and an environment to bloom. Together, we can make a significant difference in the lives of these children and build a more beautiful, inclusive, and just society, a world worth living for everyone. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lordship, for your words of wisdom. As we deliberate, discuss, and strategize to carve out a narrative that is centered on the overall development and well-being of children with disabilities, let us remember that our collective actions hold the power to transform lives. With these words, I humbly request Honorable Miss Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh, and Member Juvenile Justice Committee to make the keynote address on the occasion. Ladyship is with us on virtual mode.
Good morning. Honorable Justice Tashi Rakstan, Chief Justice Acting, Chairman Juvenile Justice Committee, Brother Atul Sridharan, Brother Justice Javed Iqbal Wani, Brother Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Member Juvenile Justice Committee, Brother Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, my other sister and brother judges who have joined virtually, Ms. Sheetal Nanda, Commissioner Secretary, Social Welfare Department, Dr. Syed Abid Rashid Shah, Administrative Secretary, Health and Medical Education, Ms. Padma Amnu, Commissioner Secretary, Social and Tribal Affairs Department, UT of Ladakh, joining virtually, Shri Vijay Kumar Beduri, Divisional Commissioner, Kashmir, Shri Achal Sethi, Law Secretary, Mr. Yashpal Borni, Director Judicial Academy, Mr. M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Chief Justice, Shri Jawad Ahmed, PDJ Srinagar, Mr. Amit Gupta, Member Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, members of the registry present physically and virtually, participating judicial members, the resource person for today's meet, Ms. Bharti Ali, Child Rights and Juvenile Justice Expert, Ms. Renu Anuj Singh, Director, Rural Services, Action for Ability Development and Inclusion, Mr. Tasadduq Mir, Director, School Education, Kashmir, Ms. Shering Paldan, Director, School Education, UT of Ladakh, Dr. Rof Ahmad Rathar, Community Medicine Specialist, Directorate of Health Services, Ms. Harvinder Kaur, Mission Director, Mission Vatsalya, joining virtually, Shri Iqbal Lone, Commissioner, Disabilities, UT of J&K and other delegates, participants from various departments, ladies and gentlemen. A very good morning to all. Today we have gathered here for one-day annual stakeholders consultation on protection of children with disabilities held by the Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of J&K and Ladakh. People with disabilities constitute the largest minority in the world, encompassing over 600 million people, of which majority lie in the developing countries. India is no exception to the same. For a long time, the disabled people all over the world have experienced discrimination, prejudice, neglect. And in spite of all the advances we have made in every walk of life and society, its institutions are not designed to cater to the people with special needs. This lack of awareness, indifference results in disfavoring the persons with disability. And because of this, misconceptions, stereotypes, which result in discomfort and unfounded fear. In India, the persons with disability are one of the most neglected and least served strata of the society. The children with disability are most vulnerable members of a society who require a compassionate, dedicated support and advocacy. The identification of a disability in a child most often comes as a shock to the family, who have to face the challenges of their challenges and changes in their life, home, routine, location, and also the fear of being different in a society. Children with disabilities face unique challenge which can affect every aspect of their life, can hinder their development and also integration into the society. These challenges include social stigma, discrimination, lack of access to education, healthcare, and limited opportunities of participating in community life. For the welfare of the children, the society at large, and stakeholders have to address the issues and create an environment to ensure that they are provided with equal opportunities and almost same opportunities and protection as other children, and to create an environment for their well-being. In India, the Right to Persons with Disability Act 2016 and Juvenile Justice Care and Protection of Children Act 2015 provide for safeguarding the rights of children with disability and for effective implementation of which require constant and concentrated efforts from all stakeholders. Children with disabilities often require specialized medical care and support services. Therefore, healthcare is a critical area which requires a constant need. It is imperative that our healthcare system is responsive to the needs and provides comprehensive care, which includes prevention and also early detection and investigation of some of the disability. Research also has to look into and ascertain the cause of occurrence of the disability, and measures have to be taken to prevent them and to assess the risk. Rehabilitation services also require a lot of effort and research to strengthen the system and significantly improve the quality of life in these. Education is a fundamental source for development of any child, and children with disability are no exception. Inclusive education is vital for children with disabilities to bring them into mainstream schools and to provide appropriate support in order to enhance their learning capacities and also to foster a culture of acceptance. This diversity is essential for social and intellectual development of the children, and development efforts were also to be made to provide appropriate infrastructure and inclusive curriculum to sensitize the teachers and community as a whole. Efforts must also be made not only to provide free education, but also for setting up of special schools wherever required to cater to the needs of these children. Appropriate transport facilities are also essential. One of the most essential elements is removal of the architectural barriers and searching for modifications to improve the buildings to make them more accessible to the children. Modification in examination system is also required for benefit of the children in order to promote education amongst the children with disability. Special scholarships and promotions are to be considered. Non-formal modes of education and vocational training should also be provided. But most importantly, what is required is awareness and sensitization amongst all the educational institutions to provide a safe and conducive members of the society. The parents and the family are primary caregivers of the children, also face difficulty, and prolonged period of stress and attitude affects their perspective. Lack of public awareness and the potentials of disability also acts as a barrier for their participation in society. Therefore, there is a need to raise the awareness and particularly focusing upon information with self-help groups to provide support to them. Mainstreaming of disability, people with disability requires a supportive environment, and social participation is necessary to reduce the negative ideas associated with effects, which includes anxiety, social depression, and counseling is also important for the people. Social networks play a vital role in bringing a strong sense of awareness and to increase the self-esteem of these children in society. Public awareness campaigns are also necessary to change the attitude of society to combat discrimination and stigma which people feel and promote acceptance and inclusion. Safeguarding measures are also crucial to protect the children with disabilities from abuse and exploitation, as these children are particularly vulnerable to various forms of abuse and exploitation. We must strengthen our child protection system to ensure that the incidents of abuse are reported and are promptly addressed to. Support system, including counseling, legal aid, should readily be available to the victims and their family. Constant efforts of all stakeholders, programs for law enforcement personnel, officers, judicial officers are essential to ensure that they are equipped to handle with the issues involving children with disability with sensitivity and care. There is a need to sensitize the school institutions, as we also as a society need to be sensitized with regard to special need and care of the children. The people with disability have experienced disability, discrimination, and neglect, exclusion in almost every walk of their life due to lack of awareness and sensitization of the society and institutions which have been designed to help them. In India, children with disabilities are the most vulnerable member and neglected strata of society. They require constant compassion, dedication, and support to help them integrate into the society and overcome the challenge, which includes social stigma, discrimination, and lack of access to education, healthcare, and participate in the community and their welfare. Today, we are holding this one-day annual stakeholders consultation on protection of children with disabilities. we as stakeholders are responsible to address this issue and create an environment to ensure that they are provided with the same opportunities and protection as the other children, and also similar environment, and be included in every strata of society. We must reaffirm our commitment to the protection and empowerment of children with disabilities, to strive and create a society where all children, regardless of their ability, have equal opportunity to reach their full potential and to make a significant difference in lives of the children as well as members of the society, and to build an inclusive and just society. After all, we are all children of one God. Thank you so much, and we hope this one-day consultation we will be able to build ourselves and increase our capacity and reflect upon all the issues that are already there. Thank you.
Sensitization of stakeholders, effective collaboration among them, and capacity building were the key points raised by Honorable Miss Justice Sindhu Sharma, Judge High Court of J&K in Ladakh. Thank you, Ladyship, for your valuable insights. We are fortunate to have with us today Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge High Court of J&K in Ladakh, Executive Chairman, Ladakh Legal Services. We would like to have this opportunity to hear his lordship on the subject. I request His Lordship, Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh, to have his thoughts on the topic.
Dignitaries on and off the dais, a very good morning to all of you. They say with disability comes debility. But there are certain instances in history which go to counter that or oppose it. One of the first names that I can think of was a fighter ace of the British Royal Air Force during the Second World War, Sir Douglas Bader. Douglas Bader himself was a stunt pilot during the 20s. In 1930, he had suffered an air crash and lost both his legs. With prosthetics, the man actually started flying again, but applied for license. Despite having cleared all the tests, he was not allowed to fly. Then came the Second World War in 1939. The Nazis attacked, they walked up to France, and Britain was also into the war. The Royal Air Force needed pilots. Douglas Bader applied for the job and he got it. He didn't fly transport aircrafts, he flew fighters. He flew a legendary aircraft at that time called the Spitfire, and shot down almost 22 Nazi planes. They were without two legs. Finally, when he was shot down by the Luftwaffe, Germany occupied France, at that time the aircrafts, the fighter aircrafts didn't have ejection seats. You have to open the canopy and pull yourself out and then open the parachute, which he managed to do. He was taken in by the Germans. And when this legend I can't verify, but what I've heard is the Germans respected the man who flew without two legs, flew a fighter aircraft, shot down 22 of their own aircrafts. When they asked the Royal Air Force to drop prosthetic feet for Sir Douglas Bader, and that the aircraft that was flying over France, bringing that pair of legs would not be shot at. In our own country, we have Commodore Uday Sondi, now retired. Uday Sondi was a coursemate of my brother in the Indian Navy. He wanted to transit from the executive branch of the Navy to the aviation, for which they had to undergo training in a place called Karaikunda. He was flying the Ajit, which was the fighter trainers at that time, and suffered a crash. He lost one leg. And but he didn't give up. He also got a prosthetic fitted. He applied for the aviation branch of the Indian Navy. But then he was given the permission to fly choppers. Commodore Uday Sondi flew choppers for search and rescue mission. And landing a chopper on a ship's deck on high seas when it rocks and rolls is a very difficult task. It's unlike landing a chopper on a flat airfield here. But that's what he did till he retired. So these are instances where the indomitable spirit of a human being can overcome the dignity and his disability. We have in our society youngsters, a lot of them have, we have the Douglas Badas, we have the Uday Soldis and so many others. And even at that time during the Second World War, Franklin D. Roosevelt was also a disabled person. He was the president of America and the longest serving president of America. He had almost 4 terms. And he was the president of the United States of America during the Second World War. His contributions are well known. He was a cripple because of polio. He was confined in a wheelchair. He decided perhaps where was even the most powerful country of democracy in the world. 4 terms as a president, which no one else has repeated. So disabilities can be overcome, provided the society gives a separate system for the person who is disabled to come out of it. But when it affects a child, there's a little difficulty. In the case of either Douglas Badas or born normal, somewhere down the line they became disabled. So they could overcome that. But a child who is disabled from birth, there's a little bit of a difficulty. He sees the other children who are normal and finds that he is different. There is an effect on his psychology, or the way he thinks, he gets depressed, and that is where the problem lies. Someone is exceptional. We have exceptional children who come back to on their own also. It's like Arnold already said that as far as histories are concerned, it's always a question of challenge and response. Youngsters do that, but not as a rule. And that's where the society comes in. And that's where the support system comes in. And that's where what Justice Vani and Justice Sindhu had said about 2 major things: education and healthcare. When I go on to the statistics and facts and figures, you will get the importance, and you will hear from the states itself as what is the difference that you have a lesser percentage of disabled as children in certain states and more the other way around. So now coming back to these facts and figures, the UNICEF's statistical analysis find that this was the year 2021, there are 241 million children worldwide with disabilities. Children with disabilities, I believe, according to the research, was 24% less likely to receive early stimulation and responsive care, 42% less likely to have foundational reading and numeracy skills, 25% more likely to be wasted as a body, and 34% more likely to be stunted. 53% more likely to have symptoms of acute respiratory infection, 49% more likely to have never attended school, 47% more likely to have been dropped out of primary school, 33% more likely to be out of lower secondary school, and 27% more likely to be out of upper senior secondary school. 51% of these disabled children were likely to feel unhappy. 41% more likely to feel discriminated against. 32% more likely to experience severe corporal punishment in the schools. So discrimination against children with disabilities, according to this UNICEF report, was that there are physical barriers. They have pointed out, for example, buildings, transportation, toilets, and playgrounds that cannot be accessed by wheelchair. And then you have communication and information barriers too, such as textbooks which are not available in Braille, health announcements delivered without sign language. We have never thought that these are persons who are differently able or disabled and who require a different kind of setup to assist them to mingle or interact with the normal people. And then there is the attitudinal barriers. Now, this is what is the most depressing factor here in our country. Attitudinal barriers, we see that a child with disability, there is a mental block in the society. It's that the child is seen as a burden. It's never seen as an asset. And maybe more so amongst the poor, if it is born in the hospital, then either the child is abandoned or it is left in a dustbin to die. And if it's found by a good Samaritan, it winds up in an orphanage. But that attitudinal problem is most pronounced in Indian society. Now, the Disability and Development Report of 2024 with the Department of Economics and Social Affairs of the United Nations It says that children with disabilities are more likely than children without disabilities to be underweight and stunted, both signs of malnutrition. Among children with disabilities, 15% are underweight, 27% are stunted, 7% are wasted, and 3% are overweight. In India, 7.62% of the disabled population are children. That's the national average. Bihar is the highest with 12.48% of the disabled population are children. Madhya Pradesh, that's my home state, is 7.59% of the disabled population are children. The next is Jammu and Kashmir, that they are taken it because we are here, is 7.74% of the disabled population are children. But Kerala is the lowest with 3.44 in the entire country. Now, what makes the difference? If you look at Kerala, the healthcare and education is top class. Over a period of time, because of a synergistic action of both of these, this population started decreasing. Because people, when they start learning to become literate, they have access to information. They find out the benefits of a smaller family. They find out the benefits of healthcare. And healthcare in Kerala, I believe, is very good. So therefore, that has the lowest rate of child disability at 3.44% of the entire population disabled in Kerala. So children with disabilities are most prone to social discrimination and ostracism and ridicule in India. And they are most vulnerable as victims to crime on account of the disability. That's a very unfortunate aspect. They feel themselves, and to look at it, the crime against children in our country, a lot of them go unreported because the perpetrators are from the family itself. They're not outsiders. Of course, there are other cases where children are trafficked out and they are sold, and some of these children with physical disabilities are also victims of that because they're used for beggary and wind up in big cities away from the parents, and there is no system that the state has in place to actively find out. There are helplines, which, NGOs are also working on that to find out where are the children who have disappeared, whether they can be traced and found out. But the rate at which this crime takes place, the recovery is far less than what the disappearances of these children. So maybe these children are prone to a life of crime also. With disability, especially in the Indian social context, the child grows up feeling that I may have to take shortcuts because I'm not normal. I don't have the capacity or ability of the normal human being. And therefore, I may have to take shortcuts which may not be very legal just to survive. So the survival instinct of the child, especially in a country where the resources are less. Let's look at the elephant in the room, that our resources are limited. We don't have unlimited resources. And therefore, a person which was born at the wrong end of the financial or economic spectrum is in a situation where he feels that he must struggle for survival. And a child which is born into that kind of an environment or economic strata with disabilities can take to a life of crime, may not be for physical crime, but he may turn out to be a mule in a drug trade, carrying things because the suspicion on such a person is less because he is disabled. The attention on him would be less. But nonetheless, they are also prone to a life of crime. So how does one solve this? Perhaps by looking at, like Brother Rani said, and Sister Sindhu said, that improving education and infrastructure for education. It's not just about books and teachers. How does the person reach the school? If once he reaches the school, he's on a wheelchair, how does he reach his class if there is no ramp? So the schools have to be disabled friendly. And once the person reaches the school, if he's blind, education to that, there has to be a separate system. Merely because a child is blind, you say that no, he can only go to blind school. Is it beneficial to associate these children with disabilities with the normal children? It acts in two ways. One, the child itself feels that it is in an environment with normal people. And those children who are born normal also get to know that they have a lot to thank God for. And they also, as they grow up, they acquire a sensitivity of not showing pity, but to show assistance where they can to bring that person up so that they can also have a normal life with them. So it works both ways. And then sensitizing the law enforcement agencies on probable crime and children, that of course is already there. There are sufficient helplines. But the problem is between the information given and the first response takes a lot of time. Let's take the recent incident where the flooding took place in Delhi. 3 students died, aspirants for the civil service. The evidence that, I'm talking from reports on newspapers and what I've seen in YouTube, where the person says that I rang up the police and informed them, and the police came 45 minutes after. So there was a delay in, the first responder coming there to the scene of the disaster. That happens even in anywhere, in other places also. So how do you sensitize the law enforcement agencies with regard to the needs of disabled children? And do we separate wing that deals with these problems of these children? And do we have to have a separate set of training as to how to respond if we get a call for a missing child? Do you have to have new ways, methods, and systems put in place where the conventional ones are not working out effectively, and by the time you reach the place, the child has disappeared. He's been taken away. So state and community support in integrating children with disabilities with those without disabilities, I've already said that. So these are things perhaps we could explore, and rather than leave it as this juncture, we've all got here, we've spoken about it, but I really hope and sincerely hope and pray that it goes beyond these words. And there are further sittings to find out and put steps in place, systems in place, whereby the change, if at all it happens, is palpable. The change should not be merely in our words, should not be merely restricted to a conference. It must transcend that, and the change must be physically visible and verifiable on the ground itself so that it's palpable. And we know that, yes, what we have met today and discussed ultimately has had an effect on the field. The time is going to take some time, undoubtedly. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lordship, for your inspiring words. As a mark of respect, admiration, and recognition of contribution made by the honorable dignitaries, I request Mr. Y.P. Burney, Director, J&K Judicial Academy, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abistan, the Chief Justice Acting, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to Chief Justice, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh. May I now request Ms. Sandeep Kaur, Registrar Judicial, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Jammu Wing, to present a memento to Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma, joining us virtually. Thank you, ma'am. May I now request Mr. Jawad Ahmed, Principal District and Sessions Judge, Srinagar, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbalwani, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Rajendra Sapru, Registrar Rules, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, Judge High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh. Thank you, sir. May I now request Mr. Tasleem Arif, Registrar Vigilance, High Court of J&K and Ladakh, to present a memento to Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, Judge High Court of J&K and Ladakh. Thank you. Thank you, sir. As we shall navigate through the thoughtfully curated technical sessions and dialogues that lie ahead, our shared commitment and collective endeavor is a melody that reaches beyond these walls, echoing in every classroom, every home, and every heart that beats for the future. With these words, I humbly request Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abistan, the Chief Justice Acting and Chairman, Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, to make the inaugural address on the occasion. Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abistan.
My esteemed colleague, brother Justice Atul Sridharan, sister Justice Sindhu Sharma, who is joining virtually from Jammu, brother Mr. Javed Iqbal Wani, brother Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhary, brother Justice Muhammad Yusuf Wani, other sisters and brothers who have joined through virtual, Ms. Sheetal Nanda, Commissioner Secretary, Social Welfare Department, UT of J&K, Dr. Saeed Abid Rashid Shah, Administrative Secretary, Health and Medical Education, Ms. Padma Amo, Commissioner Secretary, Social and Tribal Affairs Department, UT of Ladakh, who is joining through virtual, Shri Vijay Kumar Bidure, Divisional Commissioner, Kashmir, Shri Achal Sethi, Law Secretary, Shri Yashpal Barni, Director, Judicial Academy, Shri M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to the Chief Justice, Shri Javed Ahmed, Principal District Judge, Srinagar, Register Vigilance, Register Rules of High Court of Jammu and Kashmir, Mr. Amit Gupta, Member Secretary, Juvenile Justice Committee, participating judicial officers, physically as well as the virtual from Jammu and Ladakh, Ms. Bharti Ali and Ms. Renu Anuj, resource persons, all the directors from various departments of UT of J&K and Ladakh, and other officers from various departments who joined physically as well as virtual from Jammu and Ladakh, police officers and civil administrations, delegates and participants from various departments, ladies and gentlemen. Disability is not a barrier to success. It is a call to the world to see the persons beyond the disability, to recognize the strength, potentials, and dignity that resides within every individual. Access to justice is a core element of the justice systems. Persons with disabilities, especially those who live on the intersections of different socio-cultural identities, face an extra layer of challenge that erodes away at least a part of whatever other privileges they may have been born with. In the absence of proper implementation of existing laws and guidelines, their disabilities, both physical and mental, pose many hurdles to their day-to-day activities and, in fact, different elements of their lives, ranging from educations and employment to transportations and accessibility. Children with disability constitute one of the most vulnerable segment of our society. They face multifaceted challenges and often find themselves at the intersection of disability and justice, at the justice requiring specialized alternative and attentions and protections. The Juvenile Justice Act and the Protection of Children from Sexual Offences Act provides comprehensive legal frameworks for safeguarding these children. Today we have assembled here to discuss and deliberate upon the rights, welfare, dignity of every important sections of our society, that is children who suffers from one or the other impairment or disability, and in which they have absolutely no role or choice because their impairment or disability is either due to genetic factors or because of other circumstances and causes which are not in their control and may be the result of some accident or other factors. My esteemed brother Justice Atul, Sister Sindhu, and brother Javed Wani, in their respective speeches, have elaborately discussed about the topic of today's programs. However, I will share with you my perspective about the welfare of the children, especially those who are specially able. According to me, the welfare of children in general and those with impairment or disability in particular should be of paramount concern for all of us. But I'm in pain to acknowledge that somehow the amount of attention required to be given to them is not being paid. We may have our own reasons in not paying the required attention, but dear friends, I must tell you that by doing so, we are failing in our constitutional as well as the legal duty, because the preamble of our constitution ensure granted to every citizens, including the special able children, of justice, social, economic, and political. Besides ensuring equality of status and of opportunity, the big question is, are we able to provide equal status and opportunity to this class? And to find answer, we have gathered here. I'm sure that the eminent speakers and resource persons during the day will discuss a lot about the welfare schemes and services launched by the government and the non-governmental organizations. But my concern will be in knowing how much we have succeeded in implementing those schemes and provide the required services to those for whom they are formulated. During the last couple of years, since I took over as the chairman of Juvenile Justice Committee and executive chairman of J&K Legal Services Authority, I have tried to visit all the homes, either run by government or non-government organization, and have found that not only the children, but the staff also lack awareness about the schemes and the services. I also happen to visit observation homes, one-stop centers, childcare institutions, shelter homes, including the homes for specially able children, and found that the said homes or centers lack basic facilities. At some places, the homes are housed in a rented accommodations where the children were staying in a scorching heat without adequate facilities. Medical officers are not available there. Tutors are not available. Outing are not organized. Subsidized ration is not provided. Children staying in such homes and institutions not issued the other cards Fruits and milk are not regularly provided due to meager diet expenses fixed per day, so on and so forth. I may tell you that many children staying in such house have exceptional talent. The only thing they need is to proper directions. At times, the district judges accompanying with me were requested to explore the possibility of upgradations of infrastructure through the various police and private organizations who may be ready to do it. Therefore, I feel that this is the proper forum to flag this issue, and I sincerely believe that your small efforts towards the welfare of children who are in need of care and protections will go a long way in improving their living conditions and also to reintegrate them in the mainstreams. There is no doubt that a lot of efforts are being put up and improvement made so far, and we have been able to travel to a considerable distance as far as infrastructure is concerned. But I feel that the road ahead is long, so vigorous efforts are required on our part to reach to the destinations and achieve our goals. I will further highlight that support services, including counseling, medical care, physiotherapies, and legal aids, must be readily accessible and adapted to the specific needs of the children with disabilities. It is imperative that these services are provided in a manner that respects the dignity and autonomy of the child, ensuring their active participations in decision-making process. Therefore, there are many NGOs like UNICEF, Agro-Industrials, and other social organizations who are working in the field of upliftment of children, but there is a necessity of tapping and channelizing all such resources. The government organizations have limited resources and funds, so the NGOs can play an important role in organizing awareness programs at regular intervals to educate the beneficiaries and also to take welfare schemes to the needy children, because I have no doubts that many such type of organizations are willing and will come forward for the cause of children. At last, I welcome all the resource persons and the participants to this one-day meet and congratulate the organizers for providing a common platform to all the stakeholders to exchange their views and prepare a plan for the future. I hope this consultation meets will be a grand success and will eventually benefit those for whom it has been organized. My best wishes to all of you for constructive technical sessions ahead. Thank you very much.
As we come to the conclusion of this inaugural session of annual consultation of stakeholders for the protection of children with disabilities, word of gratitude is due, and it is with great pleasure and honor that I stand before you to present a vote of thanks on behalf of Juvenile Justice Committee, High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, Department of Social Welfare, UT of Jammu and Kashmir, Department of Social and Tribal Welfare, UT of Ladakh, UNICEF, and Agri Industries Vikas Chamber, New Delhi. We are immensely honored to have had the esteemed presence of Honorable Mr. Justice Tashir Abistan, the Chief Justice Acting High Court of Jammu and Kashmir and Ladakh, and Chairman Juvenile Justice Committee as Chief Guest for this event. Lordship's support and guidance has been instrumental in making this event success. We express our sincere gratitude for Lordship's exceptional leadership and tireless efforts in organizing this annual consultation. We are truly honored by Lordship's presence and for delivering the inaugural address, which provided valuable insights into the significance of this consultation. We are grateful and honored by the presence of Honorable Mr. Justice Atul Sridharan. His Lordship's valuable insights on the subject are truly enriching and enlightening. We are grateful, Lordship. We're also grateful to Honorable Ms. Justice Sindhu Sharma for gracing this event with her presence through virtual mode. Wisdom and experience of her ladyship had undoubtedly enriched this event and inspired all the delegates. We are honored to have received ladyship's invaluable guidance. Our heartfelt thanks to Honorable Mr. Justice Javed Iqbalwani for his Lordship's active involvement in this consultation meet and for his Lordship's invaluable thoughts. Lordship's commitment to child protection and effective implementation of legislative commitments is truly commendable, and we are short of words to express our gratitude for his Lordship's support and guidance. We are indebted to Honorable Mr. Justice Muhammad Akram Chaudhry and Muhammad Yusuf Wani for their gracious presence. Dear Lordships, presence have added immense value to this event, and we are expressing our gratitude for their Lordship's keen interest and contribution in ensuring the success of this event. We're also indebted to Ms. Sheetal Nanda, Commissioner Secretary, Department of Social Welfare, UT of J&K and Ladakh, Ms. Padma Angmo, Commissioner Secretary, Department of Social and Tribal Welfare, UT of Ladakh, in charge, Child Protection, UNICEF, Director, Agri Industries, Vikas Chamber, New Delhi, for their continuous support and collaboration in organizing this consultation. Your dedication to the cause of child protection, welfare, and your participation has been truly remarkable. We express our gratitude to Mr. Vijay Kumar Biduri, Divisional Commissioner Kashmir, Dr. Saeed Abid Rashid, Secretary, Department of Health and Medical Education, Mr. Achal Sethi, Secretary, Law and Justice, UT of J&K and Ladakh, Dr. Mushtaq Ahmed Arathar, Director, Health Services, Kashmir, Mr. Shabbir Ahmed, Director, Rural Development, for their gracious presence on the inaugural session. We also express our sincere gratitude to Mr. Y.P. Borni, Director, J&K Judicial Academy, Mr. M.K. Sharma, Principal Secretary to Honorable Chief Justice, and worthy members of registry from Srinagar wing as well as Jammu wing for their presence physically and virtually. We also extend our gratitude to Mr. Javed Bakshi, Director, SKICC, for his valuable contribution to this event, active involvement and cooperation in providing us the venue. We are truly grateful for the cooperation and coordination demonstrated by all the stakeholders and various departments of government, including Civil and Police Administration, Security, Srinagar Municipal Corporation, Department of Health, Department of Floriculture, for their collective efforts, which undoubtedly made a significant impact in the event. We extend our gratitude to the Department of Information, Media personnel for the coverage and unbiased reporting, which will play a crucial role in amplifying our message to the wider audience. We thank for their dedication in spreading the message and engaging public in creating awareness about the progressive schemes and services of the government for child protection and their holistic development. Finally, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to all the delegates and participants who attended this inaugural session. Your active involvement, enthusiasm, and willingness to learn have made this event memorable and successful. We hope that the knowledge gained during this session will empower you to navigate through the various government schemes and services being implemented for the welfare of children and their protection. Thank you. Thank you all. I now request all the delegates to proceed for a cup of tea.